Welcome to The After Show, the show where we bring it to you raw and real about our favorite mainstream and reality TV shows and the actors we love or love to hate. Tonight we'll be talking about Tyler Perry's The Have and Have Nots. And trust me, no topic is off limits. But before we do that, let me introduce you to the guys on the couch. Guy number 2, say hello to the people.
Hi, I'm guy number 2. Pull up and have a seat, because you're in for a real treat.
Guy number 3, talk to the people.
This is guy number 3, and I'm ready to get it in.
He's ready to get it in, and we're ready to get it on. But to get it on, we're going to need a female perspective. Trinity, say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. And you know, everything takes balance, and I have that balance with the female perspective.
Balance. And of course, I'm your host with the most, CC Cowan, a.k.a. the Talk of New York. And we're about to get into it. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. And we're back discussing Tyler Perry's The Have and Have Nots. This episode is called Brilliant Lawyers Lurking. And boy, were they brilliant and lurking. So look, guys, we're going to pick up where we left off last episode. I asked you guys a question. Do you think that the body that the police have discovered in Candace's backyard, is that body Quincy's body? They haven't fully dug it up yet, but there's a hand in plastic that has been uncovered. And Trinity said, of course it is. Who else could it be? Okay. Guy number 2 and guy number 3 totally disagree. I want to ask Trinity, I want to lead off. Trinity, tell us very quickly why you believe that that is Quincy's body in the backyard.
I was going through this season, the episodes in my mind, and as far as I could tell, since she's had the house, he's the only human being that is not left back out of there. I can't. Did I miss something? I just tried to. Did I miss something? As far as I know, I didn't miss anything, and he's the only one.
Well, you're right, but you also, remember, because you're always the one, Trinity, always pointing to, remember, guys, so let me tell you, Trinity, remember that there's been a lot of people in and out of Candace's house since Quincy has been buried in the backyard.
Right.
A lot of people. Now, someone, for whatever reason, could have taken that body and put someone else's body in that backyard. So let's be clear here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to guy number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Quincy was supposedly buried in the backyard. We never saw Quincy buried. We know that Benny was supposed to have buried him in the backyard. Okay. Right. Veronica knew that body was in there and could have had someone sneak in and remove that body for the sake of not letting Jeffrey go to jail for life. Okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, that sister was in that backyard as well with her friend.
That's sister.
Now, yes, that sister. And going into that, breaking into Candace's house and then calling the cops and saying, look, we found my brother's body dug up in the backyard. She could not prove that Candace killed him or had anything to do with him being buried in that backyard. Y'all could have broken and got in a fight where y'all was going to rob Candace and it gone wrong, and you and your friend who broke in with you could have killed him and buried him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thereby, Candace would have been. You understand what I'm saying? Let's not forget that Mitch also saw his friend Benny gathering tools to go dig something up, and Mitch comes from our family, so he knew. He was like, there's a body involved. There's somebody. He's burying something, and then he put 2 and 2 together when he saw War raping Candace. And he found out that Quincy was also after Candace because Benny had told him about Quincy. So could he have gotten into Candace's house and removed the body? Because that's what mobsters do. Get rid of the black body, put a white body in there. Would never point to her, right? Because the mob is getting rid of bodies all the time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just throwing some variables out there. I don't know who's under there, in that dirt. But this is why I believe that it can go, any direction. So look, guys,
Right.
this is called Brilliant Lawyers Lurking. This is season 4, episode 5. The episode opens with Justin, Jeffrey's boy toy cop, watching his peers dig up the body buried in Candace's yard. With a quick cut, you guys, to Candace and Jeffrey waiting in the hotel bar for the arrival of Miss Veronica Harrington. Both of them are visibly nervous. So Jeffrey tells Candace that he is considering marrying Melissa in order to get Veronica off of his back and this girl off of his back as well. And guy number 2, I want to ask you, if Jeffrey goes through with this, is this thing going to work out for him, or is he going to have this thing snowball into more trouble?
It's going to snowball into more trouble. We already know Jeffrey's clearly gay. He's got this thing going on with Wyatt on the side in his mind. And then he's got this thing definitely physically going on with Justin. So even though he might make it seem like it's going to work on the surface with Melissa, it's not. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be more tumultuous rigmarole. And then especially after the baby gets here, that's going to even be more of a jumbled puzzle. So it's going to be a whole lot with that.
Okay, but guy number 3, let me ask you this. There are, men out here in reality, not just reality TV or mainstream TV or these nighttime soaps. There are men out here who are clearly gay, living in marriages and have children with women, and they kind of, play the game out. They play the game out. So do you think this is something that Jeffrey is going to do, as guy number 2 said?
I think he's going to play the game out, but it's not going to come to it's not going to bear good fruit, because Jeffrey is clearly, like guy number 2 say, he's gay. And so his feelings are conflicted with the fact that he's gay, and all his troubles are piling up on him, and he's at a point where he's ready to pop. So marrying Melissa ain't going to help his problems none. Because he's struggling with his sexual frustrations. Is what he's struggling with, and he really wants to be with Wyatt, but Wyatt don't love him, and now he realizes that. Well, I think Wyatt does, but Wyatt won't show him any affection. So I don't, he's at a big standstill in his life, where he's sexually frustrated with who he wants to be with.
Gotcha. So guy number 2, let me ask you this question, because, guy number 3 reminded me, so Melissa's waiting to be married as well, but Melissa's dad, is he dead by now? Like, he should be healed.
I mean, I don't know. Melissa's dad might be dead by now. I don't know. But whatever this carrot is that Veronica's still dangling over, Melissa's family's head, involving their father and them not having any money and being indebted to Veronica, I just don't see that warranting her needing to be a grandmother, through Melissa. I don't know how that's eventually going to work out, because then you're going to have a physical tie to her. So it's really going to complicate things, because how are you going to be able to dangle a carrot in front of her father as an indebtedness and then say, oh, look at our grandbaby. Wow, Veronica.
Yeah.
That could be twisted.
It's carrot soup. It's carrot soup. It's carrot soup. All right, look. I want to ask. I want to ask Trinity. Trinity, Jeffrey receives a call from Justin, the officer, and gives him information about what's going on back at Candace's house. So, was that a good move or a bad move on the officer's part? He's feeding Jeffrey information.
He needs to just focus on doing his job. That water is so hot on him, he doesn't even know what to do. Justin, he almost wished he never even knew them, that it was just a call, that he just did his job and kept moving on. He never dreamed that he'd be getting in this deep so quick. What has it been, 2 weeks, maybe 3? And now look, so, yeah, bad idea, bad timing. I mean, doesn't need a blow-by-blow, I don't think. I think Justin needs to concentrate on doing his job and meet Jeffrey somewhere and give him the whole summation. But, this blow-by-blow calling, come on, it looks way too suspect. Who are you talking to? Everybody you need is right around you.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody's going to put that thing together. And, you know, that nosy mama, I think, is going to be the first one who puts it together. Why are you always on the phone? Justin.
Hello?
Who are you talking to, Justin?
Exactly.
But look, you talked about perfect timing. Let's talk about perfect timing. Okay? Veronica enters the hotel looking absolutely flawless and in perfect timing, right?
Did you see that white jacket? Go ahead. Oh, my
yes,
goodness.
Indeed.
That thing was sharp enough to walk on its own.
She walks in. She's carrying a beautiful bouquet of pink roses and a glass vase with a big, beautiful bow. And she makes her way over to the front desk where she begins to ask questions about a woman named Erica. And she conjures up this crazy cockamamie story about someone leaving these flowers, and she says she will deliver them for the driver and so forth. And she gets this woman at the front desk to not reveal what room Erica is in, but to call Erica down to pick up the flowers because she wants to get a gander of the new Davis new chicken. Okay, so look, guy number two. Tell me what you thought about Veronica manipulating the woman at the front desk.
Well, I thought it was absolutely devious of Veronica coming in there playing 1-800-Flowers. You know, she's got her whole big story, and I was just like, okay, now how in the world is she going to pull this off? And, you know, she cons a little chick at the doggone desk to reveal the fact that there was an Erica in the hotel, which is all Veronica needs to get her toe in the door on the scenario. And then how she strategically placed herself so that she could see who Erica really was. That was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But it goes to show who Veronica really is. She's always 10 steps ahead of the game, and she's always ready to run when it's time to run. You know, you don't have to tell her, you know, fire the gun for her to take off from the finish line. She's ready to run. She's ready to run.
Absolutely. So I want you to further elaborate on the fact that she made her way over after she got this woman to reveal that there was indeed an Erica in the hotel who knew David Harrington. She now needed to see what this woman looked like, but she didn't want to reveal herself right away. So she made her way over to the table where her son and Candace were sitting and waiting for her. And she told Candace to get up. So elaborate on that. Like, what do you think about telling Candace, I need to see.
She slithered over there. She slithered over there in her little chic design, and she asked Candace to politely move, which, of course, Candace was going to be resistant to because she doesn't like anything that Veronica tells her to do. But she reluctantly moved after Jeffrey pleaded with her to move. Just go ahead and do it. So after she sat down and she sat in that position and she had that bird's eye view of who that Erica was, that's all she needed. She got what she needed from those two, from both Jeffrey and Candace, and she's ready to rock. So I can't wait to see how that's going to unfold because she's definitely going to be following up with Little Miss Erica. She's definitely going to do it. Oh, she's going to do it.
She's definitely going to do it. So guy number 3, I want to talk to you about the fact that, well, wait, before I go to guy number 3, I'm going to go back to Trinity very quickly because Trinity made a comment about Veronica's jacket being so sharp he could have walked in on his own. Okay?
Yes.
So let's talk about fashion here. Now, she did walk in very fashionably, and she was very fashionable, and her hair was laid, and, I mean, she had diamonds around her neck. It was beautiful. Like, you could have never told she was in a fight with a bull. Okay. But when she immediately, within seconds of slithering over to the table, as guy number 2 said, she begins to insult Candace on her wardrobe. A knockoff. And so, look, my line was this. This was the line she gave, and I want to know what you think about this, Trinity. She says, "Oh, your knockoffs make my original sneeze." Now I'm done.
That one had me. That one had me. That was okay. Ooh, she came with it. That in her nice, nasty tone, you know. She came with it with her nice, nasty tone. Ooh, yeah, that one. I didn't expect that. I should have, but I didn't. And I was like, oh, well, all righty then. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your clothes make my clothes sneeze.
Yeah.
Now that,
I got
think
nothing
about
for that.
Your clothes make my clothes sneeze. That's some deep. Like I would, even as I'm always talking about self-control, right? But I probably would have punched her in the face if she'd have said that to me.
I got nothing for that.
Okay.
So look, Candace clearly had nothing for it either, and before Veronica got to the point of why she was really there, Candace decided, I'm going to excuse myself because I'm not going to deal with this. And she got, she proceeded to get up, pushing her chair back to get up, and Veronica demanded, "Girl, sit down and stop before you scrape up these people's good marble with those and look."
Throw in shade. That's that Southside.
Yes, he did, boy.
And she looks down at Candace's feet and could not describe what the shoe was that Candace was wearing. I was outdone. This is why I'm going to, I was so outdone with this episode. That's why I want you guys to really weigh in on it, because I'm still reeling over here. I still have to get up off the floor from something that was in the episode. Mm-hmm. And Candace sat back down. Okay, so look, let's move on here, because Jeffrey was sitting there, as my sister said, being weak. But did he have a right, guy number 3, to be weak and vulnerable and submissive and passive in this moment, because he really needed his mother's help?
Yeah, he definitely did. So he should have, shut up and let Veronica help him out, because you say one false move, both of y'all going to jail. So you better play along and see what she's talking about. At least get on the ball of what she's saying, because it's going to save your life in the end. She's trying to look out for your best interest. She might have her issues with you being gay and all, but she's still your mother. She still loves you.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of kids who are young and they get in trouble and their mom comes to the rescue. Mom always comes before dad, and mom comes to the rescue. And I think Jeffrey kind of positions himself in that moment at that table in that hotel, like, we're in trouble. We need my mom to fix it.
Exactly.
Because, okay, Trinity, he actually called her mom. And she pointed out to him, she said, well, I'm mom now, because last few days I've been Veronica. Mm-hmm. 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 So I want to know from you, Trinity, do you think Veronica is actually going to help Jeffrey and Candace?
She's going to help her. She's on a mission, so she's going to help her son. But she's working for them now, so now she's at work. She's going to help her son, and helping her son, she has to help Candace. She's not super delighted with either one of them, but she's got a lot at stake here. She's got a lot riding on this mission that she intends to accomplish. So it's in her best interest to do what's necessary. She's done already called them silly. She done already called them stupid. She done already dismissed them as not really, they're not really even good, halfway decent criminals. She's already put that out there. So now she's she's going to be the attorney that she's going to be, of course, but she's also kind of going behind in a motherly kind of way to kind of clean up yet another mess. Not just my son's mess, but his friend too, because they're hand in hand with this.
But here's the thing, Trinity. This is the thing that got me. She said, I'm dealing with like less than smart criminals, right? These geniuses, right? Being condescending. But here's the thing. This is what really tells me, like, I look at these things about Veronica. I love her. I love her character. But it tells me that Veronica is an actual criminal. Mm-hmm. And she's learned, she's an educated criminal who learned how to get away with murder. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey and Candace, because they're not criminals, shouldn't know how to be these super smart criminals. They should make mistakes. They should flub and make errors and, leave clues and trails behind, because they're not criminals.
Well, then they should pay the price, too, but she doesn't want them to do that.
Right, but the point is, someone who isn't a criminal is not looking to clean up their mess. They don't know how to clean it up because this is not what they do. They're not professional criminals. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not used to going around, if I'm not a drug dealer. I don't know how to cook up a rock, a coke. What do you mean? And then you're going to tell me, you're going to give me the stuff, and I'm going to cook it up, and I'm going to put it in the bag, and I'm going to give it to you. When you come back to the house and tell me I left the pan on the stove, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that, well, I don't do this. Okay? So Veronica needs to get it together. It tells me that Veronica is really a criminal. But I want to talk to you guys because I know guy number 2 was really blown away at the revelation that that Veronica finally got to when she said, "Foolish girl, don't you know that banker is in Jim and Catherine's pocket?" But she revealed to her that depending on the timing in which they actually came to repossess the property, to foreclose on the property from Candace, that they may not be able to be charged for anybody being killed in that house and buried. So what did you think about that guy number 2? Because I know it blew you away.
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away by that because legally now there's no obligation because Candace will be free and clear because she doesn't own the property. So them discovering the body on the property after the fact that the house has been repossessed throws it all into a whirlwind because also on top of that, the double jeopardy comes in where the paperwork that she signed for the house is false. So all of that stuff is going to be swept under the rug, and none of it will be admissible in court. So they're all going to walk scot-free. Well, let me not say all, but the majority of them will walk scot-free. But as far as Candace and Jeffrey are concerned, they're not going to be responsible for Quincy's body if that's Quincy's body in the backyard.
Which will be absolutely great and okay with me. I told you guys episodes ago, and I think if I didn't tell you all, I know I told guy number 2, it is my dream, my desire to see Veronica go to jail for something, right? But here's the thing, to go to jail for something, because to keep it realistic, right, you can't do all of this stuff and nobody go to jail and you go in for 2 days like Jim and Catherine 2 days. You know what I mean? You got to go. Exactly. Somebody has to go to jail. Okay, so right. Veronica needs to go to jail, and Candace needs to defend her. And she needs to work with Candace, almost like, remember Silence of the Lambs, and you saw old girl going to see him at the jail and getting all this information? Candace needs to do that with Veronica. And Veronica needs to feed her information, and then Candace needs to show her smarts and everything that she knows, from studying, being a law student. And they need to work that court and turn that court out, and she needs to get Veronica off. And then they call a truce while this is happening. But then when she gets off, they meet outside the court, and they go, well, or best off again, right? Absolutely. And they go their separate ways. Oh, it would be absolutely amazing. But look, let's move on to something else that was absolutely amazing. The sheer gall of that Catherine Cryer, who is now sitting in one of her upstairs rooms, one of her bedrooms, talking to her husband, Jim, who is covered in blood. Okay, and let's realize, I don't know if this is the blood from David beating him down in the jail cell, or is this the blood that Catherine wiped on Jim that came from Jennifer and Veronica in her own blood. He's the blood all up around the neck and the face. And so she begins to tell Jim, basically, why did you let her go? And Jim begins to tell her all the reasons why it was necessary to let her go. Guy number 3, talk to me about the fact that Jim had to walk Catherine through different instances of how she would be questioned in court by Veronica should she try to pin Jennifer's murder on her.
Jim was basically telling Catherine, you ain't got to win here, baby. Veronica is smart, and she's a lawyer. And she knows criminal justice, and she knows that she don't know nothing else because she's a criminal herself. So, when when the law gets dirty, it gets dirty. So Jim was basically telling Catherine, you got to play ball with this a little bit because what you telling me ain't flying off the handles now because you setting up to talk mouth and make-believe. Well, I know for sure you done killed this woman.
The mountain of make-believe. I love it. That's where she was, up on the mountain of make-believe. And it was a big mountain to hold her up there. So, look, let's talk. But, look, I want to give you the line. I want to give you the line guy number 2, and I want you to tell me what you thought of Catherine's dramatic one-liner, her closing line for that scene. She said, "And Jim, when you finish, I want you to have my rug clean. I don't want that bee's blood staining my $200,000 rug. And when you finish cleaning it up, Jim, get your SHIT and get out of my D house." I think that Catherine was trying to get an Oscar. What was going on with Catherine? Guy number 2.
Catherine. Oh, God, Catherine. Catherine was hilarious in that scene. I don't know why she knows the place for her rug in her house. But, for her to even say that, I was kind of like, okay, then, Catherine, you're reaching now. Okay, we get that you're a rich white woman. We get it. But it was a whole lot. I think that was a whole lot, especially when you done shot the woman and she's on the carpet because of you. So I don't know why you're sitting here, trying to be a little grandiose. But she played that scene. She played it out. She really did.
Well, first of all, what $200,000 rug Catherine have up in that house? Because if that's the case, then Wyatt didn't need an inheritance, or that daughter that got killed, they could have just pawned one of them rugs. I wouldn't have waited for nobody to give me no allowance. I would have grabbed one of them rugs. Baby. Every week there would have been a rug missing. You hear me? Dumb things would have came from a...
He come with his rug. All right.
Dumb thing, exactly. They would have came home from a dinner party, baby. They'd have been down to the parquet floors. I'd have had rugs pulled up for days. $200,000 rugs. I sit down, girl. Really, Catherine?
It was $200,000. What do you expect?
Well, if she would have said, look, help me get out of this. Stop bothering me, Jim. I heard what you said. Now help me get out of this $200,000 Spanx. Then I would have believed it. I said, okay, Catherine.
Okay.
I believe, listen, it is my belief that if she had not worn that Spanx, she'd have been able to catch Veronica on that staircase. But the flip side, but you guys, the flip side is, here's the flip side, because there's always a pro and a con. So that was the con. Now, the flip side is, the pro is that because of the Spanx, I believe, did y'all see when Veronica kicked her down those steps? She went to rolling and bouncing, and I believe it was the elasticity of that Spanx that allowed her to bounce and not be broke up when she hit the bottom of those stairs.
That's right. You gotta do what you have to do, Catherine. I ain't mad at your Spanx. I promise I'm not.
Because let me tell you something. The staircase in that house was like the staircase in that house was like the staircase in Cinderella. And Catherine went to rolling down them steps. And I'm telling you, Catherine she's a plus size woman. She should have been dead by the time she hit that landing. But let me tell you, all thanks to Spanx, baby, because she got up within 3.5 seconds later. She got up and said, and commenced to chasing Veronica around the table again. I said that was a
you ain't did nothing now,
baby. I know the stock in Spanx went up. I bought me some. Y'all better get y'all some. Okay, you guys. Let's move on, you guys, because we cut quickly to the scene where we see Wyatt now in this beautiful, luxurious loft. Okay, it's evening time now, and he's sitting there. Someone knocks on his door, and he opens the door and enters the drug dealer, and he wants some cocaine. Now, suddenly, the drug dealer has a heart. He's like, no, you almost died before. I'm not giving you nothing. You're not scoring for me. Absolutely not. And Wyatt throws an absolute fit and is like, get out. I don't need you. Get out. And he shoves this man outside of the door. Okay? He's like, you can't, the guy's like, you can't get this drugs from anybody but me. I'm your source. And Wyatt is like, oh, you want to bet? And true crackhead form, you want to bet? Okay? Now, my first thought would have been, you guys, and I'm going to go to guy number 3 on this. My first thought would have been, I'll give you a $200,000 world. You give me $200,000 worth of crack. Meet me at my.
Okay.
Yes.
Rug, baby.
You get me this crack, and I'm going to give you a $200,000 rug. I'm telling you, be set. But he pushed the guy outside the door, and he, at this point, I don't know what he was doing prior to the guy arriving at his loft, because he had already started to look dark around the eyes. So I don't know whether he was smoking some of the furniture that he had broke down, scraped off some of the bricks from the exposed wall or something, and started sniffing. I don't know what he was doing because he already looked like he was high. I want to talk to guy number 3. So, in this scene where this drug dealer comes to his house, are you now feeling sorry for Wyatt, or are you saying, he deserves to just get high and die? Like, what are you thinking about Wyatt at this point?
I definitely think Wyatt's been doing too much. Come on now. You done had a near-death experience where you done almost lost your life. You still want to get high? Come on now. You're doing too much. Definitely needs to go on out and push a needle in your arm and say sayonara. But, he's always been doing too much. And, it's showing, he's unraveling because of his addiction. And it's bringing him down because now he's gotten himself into a pickle.
I believe he's in a pickle, all right. That thing is a bowl of relish. He's a bowl of relish. That thing has done come all apart. He's become all apart. So, guys, I want you to weigh in on the fact that Wyatt has now moved and called over this drug dealer, his supplier, to come over and supply him with the drugs. Are you feeling sorry for Wyatt? Are you saying, man, are you finally realizing he really does have an addiction? He's not just a spoiled rich kid? Or are you saying, you know what, Wyatt, I'm over you with this drugs. Go ahead and die.
Yeah, I'm ready for him to kick the bucket because at this point it's just too much. He definitely has a problem, and I definitely think he definitely needs some help. But, God help us if he even gets cleaned up, because then we're going to have a loose wire on our hands. Because I don't think that attitude is going to go away, even if he's free of drugs. I really don't. I think it's going to get worse.
Nobody seems to be showing any sympathy or any empathy for Wyatt. Guy number 2 is it. Guy number 3 is it. I certainly don't. But so maybe we can get some empathy or some sympathy from the female perspective. Let's talk to Trinity about that. What do you think about Wyatt's situation, his addiction?
Wyatt, he does, he does need help. It's a struggle between I want all this, I want everything my way, and the other part is he's never really made his own decisions. It's just, his parents have always kind of kept him in as much as they could, in a cocoon, took all his money, had all his money, where it should be, that he can't get a hold of it because, like they even said, he would kill himself. So here he is, looking for that next high. And his parents have spent tons of money. And you guys remember when it was first coming on, I think Jeffrey was paid like $1,000 a day or something like that to physically follow this man around. Excuse me. So, I don't want him to off himself. I really don't. But he's running around. He can't help himself. He can't. He did, but the flip side of that, again, is that he didn't want to stay in the hospital. Why didn't he want to stay in the hospital? What was he running to? It's not like he has children,
Right.
He's so ambivalent towards his parents now for whatever reason. They were just trying to save him and as much as they could from himself.
Yeah.
I don't want him to die. I do want him to get another crack. I'm using the wrong terminology there. I do want him to get, some help, some other kind of help. Jeffrey can't be it because Jeffrey's trying to stay free and, some other things himself.
Trinity, I agree with you, and I'm going to be a little serious here because I think that Wyatt, I don't like Wyatt's attitude. He has a very nasty attitude, but it's a very common attitude amongst those people. And when I say those people, I mean those rich people with spoiled children. But, I would like to see him get better and do better. The thing is, I think, keep him in the way that he's going. He needs to stay a drug addict and drug addicted until we find an exciting backstory for him, because I don't believe that there is one yet. Right. He had a girlfriend that ran away seasons ago. But the thing is, it shows also that, part of coming out of addiction and being free of it is really, it depends on not just going away and being treated and not just having counseling and somebody to follow you around like a shadow, but it really speaks to the people around you, a family, being supported, and also being on the lookout and, trying to assist him and, creating better options for him and helping him to make better decisions. And I don't think that Catherine or Jim has availed themselves to that at all. They wait until he kind of acts out a little bit, or until they see some behavior, or he says something that's kind of off color, and then they're like, well, you can't do this, or you can't do that. And I don't know it's necessarily the reminder of what he can't do that would help or for anybody that's addicted, but the reminder and the insistence on what you can do. On what you can do. So I think that they got to rethink this, and just tossing Jeffrey in his path and saying, Jeffrey, you deal with him, we'll pay you to deal with him, is part of his problem. Look, let's cut quickly to Hannah, who, we see in the hotel room that she got for her and her grandson and Benny, and Benny's sitting down and having a meal that Hannah, I don't know what is the little stove in there, and Hannah done made some rice-a-roni. Okay, she done made some chicken rice-a-roni. There's a biscuit and there's a chicken thigh. Now, don't ask me how I know it's rice-a-roni, because I remember it's rice-a-roni, what it looked like. And I love chicken thighs. It's my favorite part of the chicken, so I realized that was a chicken thigh, not a back, guy number 3. And but look, you guys, let's talk about what took place there. And so Benny's sitting there, and he's feeling down, but he's eating. The little boy's laying on the bed and reading a magazine. And then Benny gets a call from Mitch from prison and says, war is out. Benny is in complete shock. He's like, war is out, and he's going to kill Candace, and you got to get to her before he does. So Hannah tries to talk Benny out of this because, again, she doesn't want Benny to get hurt over something that Candace has done. Guy number 2, talk to me. Is Hannah being realistic? This is your son, yes. This is also your daughter. Brothers and sisters are going to protect each other. Is she being unrealistic by thinking that Benny would learn that somebody's after his sister and just sit there?
She's being unrealistic. You've got to know that your children are going to stand up for one another regardless. I mean, they're obviously close. They don't have any animosity between the two of them. I mean, Benny's a little upset with the fact that, Candace does lie and she does scheme. But he's not going to let anybody come after her and actually hurt her. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I thought that it was a little unrealistic, too, for Hannah not to believe, knowing who War is, that he had kind of turned on them. He's like, oh, that's the same little boy that I took him. Yeah, whatever. So things change. I mean, he's a thug. He's out in the street. So if Benny says that he's changed, then he's changed. Believe him.
Right.
Go with it. Stop playing.
Exactly. Guy number 3, talk to me about just that comment that guy number 2 made. Hannah began to tell Benny right away when Benny shared with her what he had just learned, that War was going to do something to Candace. Hannah refused to believe it. Not that War. I raised him. He was so close to y'all. He was like y'all, like one of my children. So talk to me about that. How realistic was that? Because I thought it was very realistic. Was it realistic for you? For her to take that stance?
It was realistic to me for her to take that stance because she couldn't believe that a child she almost, damn near raised, in a sense, because he didn't have any family that, would do something like that to Candace. They were like she said, they were like a family, like another brother to them. And so she was just like shocked. It threw her for a loop. But as far as her not, gathering up that people change, yes, people do change, and they do get either better or worse. In that war case, he didn't got worse.
Yeah, it's funny because when I think about that scene and I think about those comments that were exchanged, I think of like stray dogs. You know what I mean? And so it's different if you have a dog. When as soon as that dog is born, that puppy is born, and you take that puppy, you raise that puppy, and you feed that puppy milk, from a bottle, and you hold that puppy in your arm like a baby, and you're giving that puppy milk from a bottle. That's one thing, and that puppy will begin to see you as his parent and will begin to respond to you as such. But when you take a stray dog off a street and begin to feed it, yes, it will follow you. And yes, it may not bite you right away, but it doesn't mean that dog will always be loyal to you. Doesn't mean that. When the environment changes, situation changes, that dog will potentially bite. Meaning, he was on the street and he was fending for himself. You fed him, so he liked that. He followed you. But put some food down and attempt to take it back while he's eating and see what he does. He'll bite you. So when I think about Candace and war and Hannah and what, that whole mindset that Hannah has toward war, I'm just reminded of that. I want to move on to, something else. Let's talk about some other stray dogs in the street. Wyatt makes his way out of the house, and he's going to cop him some drugs. Where's he going? To the hood. And he's going to happen upon the stray dog that is Keita. Keita and one of her little Hickman sitting on the porch. And he rolls up. Now, he's circling the block in this fancy car. And he's literally looking to cop some drugs. Now, they're thinking he's the cops. He's the cop. Look at them circling. Look at him. Look at him. And then he pulls up upon them, and he's basically like, yo, do you know where I can get some stuff? Trinity, talk to me about Keita's response to Wyatt pulling up in front of the stoop looking for some stuff.
All out of whack. I mean, it's all out of whack. The last time he was there, that's how he ended up. He was what? He spent the night, a week, a day in the crack house, and then he killed that little girl. They had to get him out of that mess.
Right.
Yeah.
He wandering right back in with, let's just say, what, $100,000 cars, suicide doors.
Right.
Looking for some. Yeah, he didn't even know how to ask for it correctly. I mean, he just, you got something. You got. That's a 20-second transaction. He's sitting up there talking to them for 2 or 3 minutes. Then they end up getting in the car. He was all out of whack. He's used to people coming to him. He's on the outs with his dealer. His dealer don't want to deal with him. His dealer doesn't want his money. So he's all out of whack in that regard. How he even drove over there, had the wherewithal, the mind to do that, when he's jonesing, that's another story.
Absolutely. Well, Whitney said crack is whack. Crack is whack.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll say she said the truth.
Crack is whack. Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts. Guy number two. I want to ask you about Wyatt rolling up in the hood on Keita. And Keita said, which was shocked to me because Keita didn't initially know who Wyatt was. She didn't right off know. And it took the guy that was with her to kind of say, wait a minute, he's a crier.
Wyatt.
Yeah, Wyatt. And Keita, with her disability, she's sitting there looking at the man's identification, and she can't even discern that this is Wyatt Cryer.
She plays that role, doesn't she? Oh, my goodness. Go ahead.
She did. I just think that it was a little far-fetched. It was a little far-fetched, though. Yeah, I mean, but it was. It's funny because then and then she grabs the gun and she gets to the car and drives. I was like, oh,
this
okay.
all the money you got?
Here we go.
This all the money you got?
This all the money you got? I think you got more. Looking like a little black woodpecker with that hair pushed and whooped up to the side. I said, you know what? And Wyatt, he's sitting in the car talking about, wait, don't do this. No, don't get in. I said, no, wait a minute.
No, that's not how you do this,
Right. Like,
hit the
really,
accelerator,
Wyatt?
and you keep going.
Okay.
You hit the accelerator, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you're going to pay $100,000 for a car or $200,000 for a rug, it better be bulletproof. The rug and the car.
Exactly. I was going to say, what's the worst that could happen? The bullet can't get through the window if it's bulletproof. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. I would have ran over Keita's little feet.
Yeah, they would have had some broke toes. Oh, well.
Baby, she would have been known as Keita in the street. Keita in the street. Y'all, where Keita at? What Keita? Keita in the street? I would have rolled Keita over, baby. Y'all would have got up in this car. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. All right, look, you guys.
I'm going to wait for you to get in. You got to be suicide doors. You know how far they have to go up? No, baby. I can use all of that to my advantage. They don't open like regular doors for a reason.
Well, they've taken this little crazy Wyatt off somewhere. They done drove off with him. And Keita says she's going to go and she's going to, she has some plans for him. They need to take him somewhere where they can implement this plan. Where do you think they're taking him, guy number 3?
They're going to probably take him to somewhere they can hold him for a minute and get some more money out of him. First, they're going to drain all the money out of him, and then probably leave him somewhere where he can OD, make it like he OD'd off something, probably. That's what I'm thinking this episode is leading to.
I'm so tired of these black characters trying to act like it's Mission Impossible. I'm like, look, if you're going to rob him, bust him in his head, take something and snip his tongue so he can't talk, crush his fingers with a hammer so he can't write down what you look like, and go ahead and use that ATM card. Get it done.
Yeah, I mean, how much could have been in his wallet? What, $1,000, maybe $2,000? You know.
Trinity, I ain't got time. I don't care if it was $16. I ain't got time to be hiding you and storing you up in the meat market. You know what I mean? What is this? I ain't doing all that. I'm gonna bust you in your face. I'm gonna blind them eyes. I'm gonna cut that tongue.
Number and I'm done.
Down. Yeah, like what is going on? Anyway, let's find out what's going on back at the Crier House. We're gonna fast forward over to the Crier House where Jim and David are watching these men as they're on their knees, getting up the last of the blood. Okay, and they are leaving, and David makes mention that his cleaners, is Mama Rose. That's what they called to send the guys over to get the house clean. And now you guys will remember that Mama Rose is Mitch's grandmama, the thug.
Yeah.
Okay, so guy number 3, talk to me about the fact that they called in Mama Rose. Now, is this a good idea or was this a bad idea?
It's a debt. Ugh.
Yeah. What do you think, guy number 3?
I think it's a bad idea because they're using Mama Rose so much. And, they mob. So eventually, Mama Rose going to call for a favor from Jim and David.
Exactly.
And if they don't deliver, they're going to be in the crock pot boiling.
Exactly.
In the crock pot. I want y'all to know he said the crock pot. Okay. And I'm feeling kind of hungry. Because you talking about crock pots, and Hannah got that rice-a-roni over there. Say what you want about rice-a-roni. Say what you want. But, guy number 2, you ever had rice-a-roni?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I made some a couple weeks ago.
A black guy had to come up with that, right? A black guy came up with that. Some black person came up with that to mix rice with noodles. They was black. I don't care what I don't care who who's presenting the company, but we came up with that. You better go in there and mix them rice with that noodles and get out my face. Ma, I'm hungry. Boy, you better go in there and mix that rice with them noodles and get out my face. All right. So look, guys, I want to talk to you guys about something else that's going on in this scene because we didn't really discuss it. I want to jump back a little bit to Melissa. Okay, because people are wondering, why is Melissa still in this story? What is going on with Melissa? Who cares if she has a baby, and what part is she going to play in the storyline now if she actually ends up being pregnant and going like 9 months full term and having a baby by Jeffrey? So, Trinity, tell me, what's the purpose of Melissa? Why does Veronica want this girl to have a baby? What's the real story?
She owes a debt. Her dad is sick. I don't even know what's the story with her dad now. At one point, I began to wonder, was Melissa still pregnant? Because we hadn't seen her in a little while. The significance, she's carrying a grandchild. That's it. That's it. They're trying to see that they want the grandchild to come to fruition. Whatever happens, he's still a father. Gay as he may be, he's still a father. Here we are. Here we are. They have their grandchild. However way she got here the normal way. Her two parents came together, and or he or she, I don't know what it is yet. He or she are now here. The boy or the girl has nothing to do with it. They're just being born and carrying on the legacy.
Okay, so guy number 2, Trinity thinks that this is about legacy. This is about carrying on the Harrington name, I guess, as far as Veronica is concerned. But I think that there's a little something more going on there. But I could be wrong. What do you think, very quickly?
I can't see it.
I think if this girl has this baby, Melissa has this baby, it could be a tie to that family's wealth. Because apparently Melissa does come from some sort of wealth. So maybe this is Veronica's way to kind of segue her way into that level of wealth. So, I don't know. It could be a legacy continuance, but I think it'll be a Harrington legacy continuance.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Here's what I think very quickly, and we're going to close out because we have another show to talk about, you guys. Another show. Here's what I think about this baby, okay? I think that Veronica has seen everyone in her circle turn on her. So I don't believe that Veronica thinks that she has love, true and pure love, unconditional love from any direction, not from David, not from Jeffrey, not from Catherine, not from anyone. So I believe that she wants this baby because then, 1, she has another opportunity to have a straight child in her life. 2, she'll be able to have someone or something to love her unconditionally. So I believe that that's all it is. I believe that she will try to take that baby from Jeffrey and Melissa, or at least take it from Melissa so that her and Jeffrey will have access to it, and then bye-bye Melissa. Bye-bye your daddy, bye-bye your daddy property, and bye-bye you. I don't think she cares anything about that family. I don't think she cares anything about their wealth because she's so cunning and conning that she takes someone's wealth without, commingling them in the bloodline. I think that she wants unconditional love, and she wants to be able to say, Jeffrey, you're not a complete failure. You did manage to give me a grandchild, and I'm going to raise this child straight. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Let's see what happens. Listen, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for weighing in, guy number 2.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for weighing in, guy number 3.
You're welcome.
Thank you for weighing in and giving your opinion, Trinity.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys, when we come back, we're going to be talking about Tyler Perry's Too Close to Home. What a show. What a show. We'll be right back.